Welcome to a Trucker's Mind podcast. I'm Eddie McGee.
It's your boy K Fings.
We're back, man. Episode 276.
Yes, sir.
We got a special guest in the building. Anthony Gupton.
Yeah.
All right. He'll introduce himself. But yeah, this guy is just was in the service, was a corrections officer for many years. So he's just a all things aficionado.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about
He's
your...
also my girlfriend's dad, so
Yes.
he's not just a random military guy just popped in here.
Oh, yeah. I want to go and get on the dating podcast.
Yeah, we were gonna get there. We were gonna get there. But yeah, give us an introduction to your life from your childhood. We'll start there.
Okay, well, shoot. Well, I'm 53, and I grew up on 6th Street, actually, the years I can remember. So...
Move a little closer
Here
to
in
the
Bakersfield.
Here in Bakersfield.
There we go.
Yeah, can y'all hear me now?
Yes,
Bakersfield,
sir.
California.
West side of Bakersfield, by the way.
Yeah, but it's still part of Bakersfield. One Bakersfield is all hot and greasy. But yeah, as a young youth, man, I grew up and I had a good little childhood, but my stepdad, he got a job at Getty Oil Company, and we was like the Jeffersons. We moved from 6th Street to Valley Street.
Moving on up.
Moving on up.
To
Yeah, so
the
yeah,
side.
right, yeah, got a little piece of that pie.
There you go.
So yeah, and I met some thorough cats out there, and as I got older, things start changing. You start seeing what you're gonna do with your life, and I decided, hey, I need to get up out of this spot, this Bakersfield heat, and do something righteous with my life. Like Tupac said. So joined the service. My grandmother threw me in that military because I didn't want to go. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna hang out here and parlay this party scene for a little bit longer. And at that point, it was time for me to roll out. My grandmother came out there, snatched me up from the backyard, put me in the car. Next thing I know, I was in the military.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
So can you describe how that abduction went?
He got abducted.
Well, as a young youth, you want to do things your way.
Right.
You don't want to listen to nobody. You want to do things the way you want to do it. And my grandmother knew what was best for me.
True.
Yeah.
And she was right to do it because
Yeah.
as young people, we really don't know shit.
Yeah, I didn't know, but you think we do.
Right,
So
right.
I remember just being real a knucklehead as an 18-year-old, and thank God for your grandmother because they really look out for you. So
100%, man.
So I think my mother had a bat phone back then, but I just don't realize how quick my grandmother got to our house, snatched me up, put me in the back of the car, took me down to the map station, gave me a handful of pennies, and say, put him in the back. Because she didn't know if I was going to try to run up out that thing. I probably would have, but yeah.
Damn.
But yeah, so joined the military and, went in as a boy. And I suppose I came out as a man. I think it's always good to have some kind of direction. I think that the military provided that. So yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to my grandma.
Yeah, shout out to her. I think every man in general needs, or young man needs, some type of controversy or turmoil to build themselves. If you're a young guy and you don't got really much going on and it stays that way too long, you're just gonna be a fuck up eventually. That's pretty much all you're gonna end up being. So I think things like the military or just working on yourself intrinsically, going to the gym, trying to be more financially literate, shit like that.
Right.
That's vital, man.
Right.
In a young man's life, especially a young black man.
Yeah.
Can you tell me I always hear these stories about Bakersfield like in the 80s as far as like the Parks was live and Union was like, obviously Union now is a place where a bunch of hoes be at, but like they used to say it was live, like, people hanging out and, not really no conflict, not really too much, it wasn't the murder capital of, California back then, but I just always hear good things about, Bakersfield back in those days.
What, 1940s, 60s? I know that downtown Union was a hip spot. They used to come out from LA and like the Rat Pack,
Wow.
and come out there and hang down at the on Union at this little hotel, and it was a bumping spot, Bakersfield's on the map not only because of that, because of Buck Owens and the Buckaroos, all that, the music and that Bakersfield sound. So
yeah, that's true.
They came through here like that, en route to Vegas, I'm pretty sure, but yeah.
Yeah, there was a huge movie that came out back in the day. I think it was with Clint Eastwood. And he had a big, like a little orangutan.
Yeah.
It wasn't called Bonanza, was it?
It was called...
not Bonanza. It was something else.
It was something... What was that name? He said Right Punch Clyde.
Yeah, and they were in Bakersfield. Like they showed the Bakersfield sign and everything.
Any Which Way But Loose.
That's what it was called?
Yeah, Any Which Way But Loose.
That's a trip.
Yeah.
That's when the Bakersfield side was on Union.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. They should move it back.
They should move it back because nobody can see it now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Buck Owens, did he buy that sign and move it over to his?
Yep.
Yeah.
Buck
He
Owens.
bought it? Oh, I didn't know he bought it.
It's right next to the Crystal Palace.
It was on Union. Yeah, that was a landmark. That's when
For sure. You drive under that thing.
Yeah.
That was dope.
If it should be anywhere, if they were to move it, it would be California Avenue. By Bakersfield High School. It makes the most sense. Like in that intersect, at least if not right by Bakersfield High School, it should be right there off the 99 off of California, right there where Jack in the Box connects to or across the street from
like Oak.
AMPM. Mm-hmm. That's where it should be.
Coming off the 99?
Yeah, just like literally, you should be able to see it from the 99.
Okay, yeah.
Right. California is one of the major long streets in Bakersfield.
So visual,
that makes
right?
sense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, he had deep pockets. I think it looks kind of neat where it's at, actually.
Yeah.
The way it took them a while to formulate a plan to get that thing over there. But once they had everything lined up, it was there.
I wonder if it's the same size. It doesn't look
No,
as
that's
big.
not the same size.
Yeah, it's not.
His span across to one side of the street to the other, and that street
That was like three
four
lanes, and then a huge center divider.
So, 4 whole lane. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Damn, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's a big sign.
What did it do with the other piece?
I don't know. I heard that it fell apart and it started hitting prostitutes in the head. So they had to take that shit down.
They start suing.
Yeah.
You messing up my work.
The car part of Union is still popping. Like during the daytime.
What?
I went to pick up my niece from after school program, get out at like 4:45, 5 o'clock. And it was a girl. She just had her titties out.
No.
Like, she had her shirt up, like with a bra on, but just ready to work.
Oh my God.
like,
now?
She was ready to work?
2023.
Oh, she should have said something.
Oh no. I didn't know they were still doing that now.
Yeah, still a thing.
Oh my
Still
God.
getting money out here.
That's sad.
They got to get their hustle on. One leg, 1 foot. I don't give a dang. Shoot.
One leg.
Half a bra.
Is it having pirates now?
You trying to work on you might catch scurvy. I don't know.
17 News. Pirate prostitutes being arrested. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's awesome. And also in regards to your service, you were in the Navy, as you mentioned earlier. So in the Navy, what type of, how do you say it? What kind of training did they have you guys doing out there?
Well, boot camp, boot camp is where they first initially weed you out to see what kind of dude or person you're going to be, right? Mm-hmm. So it's tough, because especially it's like culture shock when you leave your hometown. All of a sudden, you thrust into an environment where you got, 60 or 40 different people from different countries or different parts of of America, whatnot. So, or any place actually. So, it's a culture shock, but you learn how to adapt, man. And it was, for me, that's where I met my first Filipino friend at.
Wow.
Yeah. So you start meeting different people and learning how much.
You barely met a Filipino in boot camp?
Yeah, in boot camp.
In California, man.
That was the first Filipino I met when I was in boot camp.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. So they give you all kind of training as far as, you got to learn how to march first, because that's the first thing you got to do. If you can't take orders in marching, you can't take orders when you're out there on the battlefield or you manage any kind of their equipment or whatnot. So, you get the training, as far as they build you up mentally, physically, and then you can choose what rate you choose to be, like electrician or something like that. Then once you decide, or if you have the curriculum to apply yourself for those classes, those jobs, you can go further than that. So they take you to school, and then once you complete that, you go out to the fleet. So I think it's wide open as far as the training comes. It depends on what you want to do.
Right.
Yeah, it's a lot of selections out there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. I was expecting more of a story. You getting like whooped out there. The instructors making you do all kinds of crazy shit.
No, it wasn't nothing like that.
Is it like that? Like, to be having the people yelling, like, yelling in your face and screaming and stuff. Is that like real?
God damn it, Gupton, get your shit together.
Yeah.
Move your ass, Captain.
I remember I had to go to a marching party one time. Man, this guy, his name was Strange, big old Italian dude. We was fucking up inside the ranks and shit, playing around and stuff like that. And, if you don't, because together, when you're in the military and you're in a marching party, you guys are one unit.
Right.
And if you're not, if some guy is not pulling his load, it's going to mess up the party. So me and my man Strange was messing around, and next thing I know, we got called out, and they sent us to a place called Marching Party. It was 12 hours. You had to have a rifle in your hand. You had to run in place. You had to march in place for 12 hours. You got an hour break as a whole. But yeah, that was one of the most difficult times, man.
Oh my God.
Yeah, running with a gun in place, holding it out to about, holding the gun to your hands for about 5-6 inches for a period of time. The gun felt like it weighed about 1 million pounds. So yeah, stuff like that, man.
Man, hearing that,
12 hours.
Yeah, 12-hour marching party.
Yeah, hearing that that's crazy. But I feel bad for the person that had to watch y'all, man. Like, you gotta watch these fucking guys for 12 hours holding the gun and marching in place. His job was sore, man.
We had our coach would always reference, like, they would say, like when we was at playing football, we practice in 100 and whatever degrees outside today, and we would be practicing 2 a days or whatever.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, and what they would describe it as, we are putting you through like military-esque workouts, like, yelling at you, like, running plays back to back, like giving you stuff to think about, throwing different stuff at you. So like your heart rate is like, going crazy at this time. But he would say, like, we put you through that, so when you get in the game, like everything is just like slowed down almost.
Right.
So yeah, that kind of makes it make sense for me.
Football was a trip back in the day. For those 2 a days, that didn't make no damn sense.
Yeah.
I played football for a little bit. I thought the 2 a days were good, man. I had fun out there. Yeah, South High Rebel playing ball and stuff like that, man. Yeah.
Y'all didn't win shit over there.
They win shit out.
Man, I imagine what it feel like practicing 2 times a day. You go into practice, y'all working hard, and then you win 3 games. Like all that hard work.
But nothing.
That's when they say hard work pays off. That's when you knew it was bullshit.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah. What class are you there at South?
What's that?
I
graduated in 88.
88, okay.
Yeah, 88.
88. I know they had some really good basketball teams there, though.
Yeah.
South was known for hoop.
Yeah, we had Winston Crite. He was a baller back in the day. I know.
It must be a junior, because that's a dude.
Yeah, we know a guy with that last name.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had a baller, a couple football players, Corn Anthony and Mark McGill. Also Chris Dutton. He was a short dude. Yeah, he was a short cat, but he ran that ball, man. He had some speed. Yeah.
Yeah, so. South had some hoopers, man. South, East did too back in the day. Especially in like the early to mid 90s, basketball was huge. And a lot of them high school dudes, or especially from your class and up, a lot of them young dudes are like grown ass men in high school. Maybe like 6'2", 6'3", looking like they go to freaking like Fresno State, but they only a junior in high school. Full beard and whatnot. Like, man.
Yeah.
Man, that heat already getting to you.
Oh, Lord, man.
I seen you over there.
I'm like, okay, shoot. I don't know if I should go ahead and just strip down up in this piece.
Go ahead and hit that cash app so we can get some AC.
Man. Sure.
I was like,
sweat running down my beard and stuff, man. I just got my little fan thing going on.
I knew he was getting hot when he pulled that church fan out of nowhere.
I was like, Lord.
At Trucker's Mind Baptist Church.
This is some unheard of heat that we haven't experienced yet this whole year.
It's about 120 up in here.
Yeah, normally me and Keith come in here, and even with it being kind of warm outside, we had an AC running for a while, and we can cut it off and we're good. Yeah. But when it's 110 outside, that shit don't work no more.
Yeah, and the AC so loud, we can't really run.
That makes you, that's where why am I living in Bakersfield again now? It ain't because of the damn sign that was on Union, or is it because of Union? The world may never know.
I was just talking earlier. I was like, man, like we put ourselves through this every single summer. Heat is aggressive too.
If you wonder what that clicking is, that is Anthony.
That's my fan.
That's him moving his fan.
I wonder if they can hear that though.
Yeah, oh, they can hear it.
Oh, hey,
those mics pick up everything.
Hey, this is last resort. We don't got the Cash App, so you gotta do what you gotta do. You know, desperate time calls for desperate measures.
We'll get a random comment like, "Was Anthony hungry?" We could hear his stomach growling on the microphone. You're like, what?
That's a roach nibbling on my feet.
All right. So you went through boot camp. You went through that experience, which is traumatic. What are a lot of the bright sides of the service that you experienced throughout those 7 years? You said
8.
8. Excuse me.
The camaraderie, man.
There you go.
Just meeting people. You know, the brotherhood. You know, some thorough guys. You know, individuals. It was just like I said, it's the camaraderie aspect of being in the service. You know, because we depend on each other out there.
100%.
Yeah, you know, you're in the middle of the ocean, and you know that's all you got. You got your 650 brothers that's on the ship with you, and that's it. And there's a structure, just like any place else, a structure, and there's a respect factor that is always necessary to be able to have a cohesive unit.
100%.
So that being said, we had a cohesive unit because everybody knew their place, everybody were respectful, and they knew we had a job and a mission.
Yeah. Can you expand on how it felt to go out so far that you never even seen the horizon? Like you're out so far where you see nothing but water. How did that affect you the first time you seen it?
It just makes you take things in perspective how large this world is and how minuscule we are.
Yeah.
So when you go out there and you can't, especially at night when you can't see your hand in front of your face and you see all this algae, they call it bioluminescent, and it was churning within the rudders in the water, and you see these colors, and that's all you can see, and you're like, wow, how
it's kind of glowing in the water.
Giving you direction of where where you're at, you know. So that being said, you know, you see how this big world and how, you know, not meaningless, but you got to put things in perspective and say how, it's hard to explain the vastness of our world and how small we are as people.
Wow.
And once we grab a hold of that, you know, it puts things in perspective, I believe.
100%, man.
That's how we went to the Grand Canyon the week before, and when you're at these like national monuments or these like spectacles, like you do feel like I'm just a blip, you know, just a grain of sand in this vast, you know, world, this vast universe. You know what I mean? And so I get that.
And it's not like we're not important.
Yeah,
I'm not. It's just like it helps you put things what's important.
100%.
You know, I was, you know, when I look up in the sky, look up and you see and all the stars and you see, you know, how far they are. They say it's 182 miles per second, it still take you so many 6,000 years to get to the nearest galaxy.
Right.
You know, and you're like 182 miles per second. It's still going to take me 6,000 years to get to this spot.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
So you start thinking how insignificant we are and what we're sitting up there fighting on this planet about every little thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But things are continuously go on in the world as a whole.
We have such a short span of time on this earth, but this earth has been here for freaking millions of years.
Yeah.
So I think that's put into perspective. But you spoke about the what do you call it, bioluminescence? Is that what you talk about? So was that your first time seeing a mermaid, or was it the first time?
I was about to jump in the water where I said, "Can I get my tail?"
What's wild about that is there was somebody who was on a boat. This is recently. It was on TikTok.
Yeah, I seen that.
And they was hearing shit out there, but it was like a ow, 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 like, and it was something that was in the water, and it was going right along the ship on both sides, and they was looking out there. And I'm not into the conspiratorial stuff, right? But you know, you being in the Navy, you do understand that 80% of the ocean is undiscovered.
Sure.
So there's a lot of shit going on down there that we don't know. That's a fact. There's stuff going on that we don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
There's places we can't even like travel, you know.
100%.
Ocean.
Damn.
Current and stuff. Yeah.
So with that being said, when was your first encounter with Godzilla? Was it 94?
Hey, I tell you what, man. Them encounters ain't no joke.
Yeah.
It was this. It's called an Albatross.
Okay.
And I think the bird is about 30 feet long. Probably longer than that. But that sucker was huge, man. Mm-hmm. And they follow the ship.
Whoa.
They follow the ship because, you know, all the food it turned up and are dumping and whatnot. And the bird, eyes of the bird is green. You got to look it up. It's called an Albatross. Mm-hmm. And I was standing and watch one day. And it was about midnight. Like I said, you can't see your hand in front of your face.
Oh,
and
shit.
It just happened to be a moonless night. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, I said these birds are huge, and I was always scared of them.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
I'm going to watch this bird. I hear something wreck into the side of the ship.
Oh.
And it was like, kadoosh! I was like, what the heck is that? And I seen this. I thought it was a dude hopping. It was hopping, right? I'm like, this sucker's hopping. What is this hopping? Yeah. Bird, I'm telling you, man, looked like Godzilla. Yeah. And this thing started making all kind of noise, man. I lost my whole direction, fell inside the bridge. Officer deck looking at me like, man, what's wrong with you? I said, there's a big ass bird out there that ran into the side of the ship. He was like, yeah, just the Albatross. They kind of do that at night. I'm like, well, shoot. You know,
no one briefed you on.
No one briefed me. I didn't get no pass down or nothing.
Oh my God, Albatross. Yeah. Is that the reference people use? Like you have an albatross around your neck, or is it the same wording? I'm not trying to. I don't know if it's the same diction.
I thought they did that in golf. It was albatross in golf. I'm not sure what that is in golf though.
Yeah. I don't know if it's the same. Describing the same thing. That's crazy though, man. It just for me, I think it would freak me out. I think it would like really like heights. And being out in the middle of the ocean so far that you can't see anything but water, that would be some shit for me, man.
Yeah.
That'd be nuts. Like you just could imagine that Titanic, which was considered to be the biggest ship or cruise ship at that time, to go down the way it did. Mm-hmm. My goodness, them sharks is in there waiting like a mug.
Man,
eating good.
But that's a cold way to die, though, man. Some guy fell overboard. And we fall overboard, man. It's a totally different ball game.
You get lost at sea very easily.
And we found him.
Wow, you found him.
We found him.
The percentage of that is very low. Very low.
Very low. So they threw the one of those life beacons out there, rings out there. But the ship you just not a car. You just don't turn.
No,
you have to go all the way around. You talking about, I don't know how many, not a mile, but you have to make a wide turn so you don't suck the guy in under the propellers and the waves. Yeah. So we had to go make a circle all the way around him, and he was in the water for about 30 minutes.
Damn.
Just treading or what?
Just holding that life ring with his legs up.
Holding it. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because he said he was so scared. He said he got on that life ring and he just stepped with his legs up, and that thing was blinking. So so we finally picked him up. But yeah, we was like, man, how'd you fall off the ship? He said, I was looking over the side.
Dang.
Yeah, at midnight.
Oh, it's dark.
Yeah, it was dark.
So he was disoriented. It was so dark.
You get disoriented. Yeah.
Wow.
I couldn't even imagine.
I couldn't imagine it either.
Yeah.
You falling and then you just like, hey, it's a nice. Shark was down there getting his hot sauce ready like a motherfucker.
We are in the Persian Gulf too. There's a lot of sea snakes out there.
What?
Sea snakes? Yeah. That guy got lucky.
Sea snakes, as in like how big were they?
They're not very big. But they're real poisonous though.
Mm-hmm. Oh my God!
Yeah, so the sea snakes are out there, and he's fortunate.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man!
I'm gonna get you some napkins.
There's a lot of perspiration going on. See, that's why I wear hats, bro.
Well, if I put a hat on, it's gonna soak my whole hat up, and it's gonna be all moist. I had to wring it out.
Oh yeah, you a sweater then.
There we go.
Yeah, with me, I wear a hat, so I just put I sweat, but I don't want to just be sweating so bad because that shit'll roll right into my eyes, bro.
Let me try my hat and see if it works.
Oh yeah, it'll work.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, it
Oh
should be
yeah.
good.
It's unfortunate you had to put that damn Dallas Cowboy hat
there
on.
we go. I feel the power now. Surging through my blood.
Yeah, Jerry Jones like, oh, that's right. He's a good old Cowboy fan on that Truckers Mind podcast.
Go Jerry.
Yeah.
You met Jerry, didn't you?
Yeah, I met Jerry. He's a cool ass.
Yeah, you
cat.
want to tell that story?
So, me and my wife, we went to Oxnard. You know where the Dallas hang
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So we was out there one year, just going to dinner, and I seen this cat. Right, I was like Jerry Jones in this restaurant. And I kind of lost my mind a little bit. I was like, hey. That's my wife was like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's freaking Jerry Jones. She go, who the heck is Jerry Jones? I'm like, I couldn't really speak because I was just like, I was starstruck, man.
Wow.
You know. So my wife gets up. She goes up to him and his wife. I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh my goodness.
She go, excuse me, my husband over there. You see him over there looking crazy? She go, he said you're the owner of the Dallas Cowboy? He go, yes, I am. I'm Jerry Jones. He gets up off his chair, comes over to me when I'm shaking, looking like a little old bitch. Takes off his Super Bowl ring, gives me a hug, and said, let's take a picture. And he put the ring on my finger, and he said, that's what we do.
Damn.
Wow.
And once he did that, man, I was like, I'm running with Jerry for the rest of my life,
Your whole
man.
life, huh?
You know what I think it is too? I think due to the fact that your wife's not immersed into it like that, and she was a little bit oblivious. She's like, what's the big deal? Hey, what's up, man? Hey, that's my husband over there. I think that's what made the whole thing happen.
Could be. Hey, kudos to the wife, though. She stepped out because I wasn't going nowhere.
Yeah.
Doing it.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Especially because you just sat back. You didn't put nobody up to it.
Yeah, I was like, hey, I'm about to lose my mind. Somebody got to go, make an introduction.
That's crazy.
You know what that makes me think of though, like how sometimes we can psych ourselves out of situations, right?
Yeah.
Because for your wife, she has no relation to who the guy is, right?
Right.
Or just in terms of like, I always want to have this like youthfulness to myself. And when you're a kid, you're not afraid to ask for anything. You're not afraid to try the new sport. You're not afraid to fail a lot of times. But a lot of times when you grow up and you have all these life experiences, you get like, you start to like become a shell because you don't want to fail. You don't want to lose money. You don't want to lose out on opportunities. You don't want to waste your time, all these different things. So it's almost like your wife was just like, she was just free to fail, and that she was free to get turned down. She was free to get like, made wrong or whatever. And I think that's like admirable if we can move through our lives, in that kind of
I just
way.
think we get older, we get influenced. And I think that influence kind of stifles, us like failing or going out to do stuff. Because if what it is when you're a kid, you asking all these questions like, Mom, where the babies come from? Or Dad, what about this and that? And that starts to change as you get older and you watching shit on TV more. And then now you watching crisscross with their pants on backwards and shit.
Or
now you want to be cool.
The kid in school might have laughed at you for saying something stupid, and then you just like shut down for the rest.
Yeah,
of
that's true. Well, it probably wasn't even stupid. You just was the first one to say it. Have you ever thought something was cool, right? And then somebody kind of shitted on it. And then you kind of backed off.
Yeah.
And then the shit that you talked about a year or two ago, now it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you like, man, I did it first.
Yeah.
Because you got influence.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember I had like Genuine, how you have the braids and then like the fade on the side. Like first day when I went to fourth grade, I went to McKinley, and my aunt did my braids, and they wasn't the best braids. She was kind of new to French braiding, so the braids kind of stuck up in the back a little bit.
Oh.
People thought it was intentional, but
Like a
my
little
aunt,
horn.
she must have not had the right greaser. I don't know what was going on.
You want to look like Blue Magic.
And she put like aluminum foil on it. I don't know what. She made a burrito out of my hair. But I went to school, and they was like making. I don't even know if they was making fun of it. They was just drawing attention to it.
Right.
And next thing you know, like I took them braids out, and then after that I cut my hair because it was just like I just didn't want to deal with that. But years later, everybody has that hairstyle. To kind
I mean, you had aluminum foil on your shit. What did you expect, bro?
Yeah, you were radioactive. Something,
You go to school with your head looking like food. What do you expect?
They might have been hungry, broke ass kids.
Sandwich head.
Yeah. Keith. With a Lowry that put some season on that biscuit.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Joe, you know what? You're right, man. Because I remember back in my day, I went to Thompson Junior High, and back in the day, we was looking at this karate movie. It's called Kung Fu Theater, and we used to always do that kung fu shit. You know how you used to do your sound effects.
Yeah.
And I was all into it. And keep in mind, my grandmother, she used to sew.
Yeah.
My grandma, she'd get down on the sewing thing.
Yeah.
So I was like, Grandma, make me a Wu-Tang outfit. Make me a Karate Man outfit. She sure made me a karate outfit, man. I wore that thing to school. They called me Nigga Bruce, man. I ran. Why they gonna do that to me, bro? I thought I was
Nigga
like,
Bruce.
Nigga. They called me Nigga Bruce.
Wow.
Yeah, so brother flew home.
Bruce Negro.
Negro.
Man.
I ran home, took them things off, man.
Never again, huh?
Never again.
It's a
Yeah.
trip though. It's a trip because when you're young and you're influenced by people shitting on you or whatever. I remember it would be a kid roasting me for being poor, but he was poor.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, your parents get food stamps too. What the fuck are you talking about?
Hey, so dude was talking about my shit. He probably was jealous of that shit. He probably
That's
like,
how it be.
I wish I had that. I had my Jim Cotters on, which
I wish I knew karate.
Yeah, really. Huh? So yeah, man.
I think in the background of all that hate and jealousy and bullying is like somebody that maybe slightly desires, maybe not to be Bruce Lee.
No, you're
but
right.
Like to have the freedom to come to school with
You're
a
right.
karate outfit on.
You're right.
Yeah.
And
they might like wrestling or something, and they want
Right.
to come to school with their Hulk Hogan stuff
Yeah.
on. But, yeah.
And this is why you're right, because there's so many people that just, even now at my age, they just want to be tough all the time, or be like a gangbanger. But truth be told, he watched Dragon Ball Z and all kinds of shit, but he too afraid to admit that he do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, that's got to be tiring at some point, bro.
That's exhausting,
like
man.
what you like and move on.
It's a burden carrying a lie or not trying to not being who you really are.
100%.
Trying to cover stuff up. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. What the hell is that? Somebody backing something in.
Yeah.
That's the fire alarm because it's so hot up in here.
That shit, it don't sound like no normal industrial sized truck moving back.
That's like one of Tonka trucks.
Yeah,
From
like a little
Walmart.
toy. Yeah.
Somebody backing up a fucking toy right now. And what's funny is our mics pick that shit up. So even though we're up 5 floors, it could be somebody down there screaming like, ha, ha, and it always picks it up.
Yeah, we be having people screaming on there.
We have, and look, I have a great deal of empathy for people who are mentally ill or homeless, but sometimes they yell and scream, and our mics pick it up. And I remember one day, I forgot what this dude was saying. Like, I don't know if he was rapping or what the fuck he was doing. But he's like, and that's what we doing. And he like, we had been waiting to do the podcast, and then this motherfucker just starts yelling as we're recording. It's like, dude, bro.
He bust out in song, man.
Yeah.
Should have gave him a beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird too because the way that it's like a hallway almost, like the way that the Bank of America set up in the Haberfield, like the way the sound kind of like radiates like back and forth, so it just like you could hear everything.
Like, dude, this motherfucker start doing a musical right in the middle of the
Yeah, your
podcast.
whole conversation. Especially the worst is like I could be up here and there's people arguing in the Bank of America drive-through, and most of them arguing because they ain't got no money. That's the only reason. That's the only reason you're mad in the bank. But you can hear the whole conversation. I just be nosy. I'd be looking out there. It'd be crazy.
We just start talking to somebody. You're never going to amount to nothing. He'd be like, oh,
It's a little sketchy downtown. I ain't been out here in a minute, man. I got here at 5:20, and I seen like 6 cop cars with that license siren just getting it. I was like, what? Keith done got me here too.
yeah, man.
It's a podcast or a war zone.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Bakersfield on the map.
We hear every sound. Every sound down here. So yeah, it's crazy.
Random shit going on. I don't want to keep hopping all over the place
Yeah.
though. I think what were we on?
Well, you move.
Go ahead.
You move from. So you're in the military.
yeah.
You leave the military, and then I know, but what was your next couple gigs or your next gigs after you leave the military?
I done had too many gigs, man. Cause I, shoot, like I said before I went in, I wasn't working. I was just out there, being 18 years old, wanting to party and hang out. But at some point, you got to realize that stuff ain't forever, man. You got to shut it down, pick it up, So so. My first gig was before I went to the military. I was Superman with my grandfather has his own little janitorial business.
Talking about after the military.
Oh, after I got to set you up for the.
Oh yeah.
So
My bad.
I forgot to put that in there. So you talking about gigs?
Take it away, Anthony.
I assume gigs are jobs, right?
Yeah.
So my gig was a little slow. So yeah, but like before, my gig was we had a little janitorial service, and I went there to work for the family, but that wasn't working out. So I had to go to the military, right? So I did my 8 years in there. And I was like, this gig's almost up. Yeah. What's my next gig? I was like, what? I done all my time and stuff. I got a little bit of understanding what's going on in life, a little bit. And I told myself, I'm going to be a correctional officer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, was that's just something that you wanted to do, or did you know someone that was already in that career field?
I figured that since I did a little research when I was in the military, and I know that a lot of military are hired by law enforcement.
Yes.
And I figured, hey, you know what? I got a little understanding of a little law enforcement, and it's kind of parallel. Like,
it is.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna be a correctional officer. That's what I'm gonna do. So yeah. I got out in '97, and they had a little job fair down here in Taft, and put my name in the hat. And they called me, and I was there.
Wow.
But was there any reservations? I know, sometimes coming from our culture, we'd be like, you can't be no police officer or whatever. Was there any of that?
I didn't think about that at the time. No, wasn't. I was trying to get my bag. I was trying to, I had a family, I got to raise my kid,
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was trying to get me a job,
I feel you.
And take care of the fam. I didn't realize all that until I got inside the prison. You talking about the camaraderie within the military with different backgrounds. It was totally opposite when you get to prison.
Yeah,
it was all you got to click up with who you belong to. There wasn't no unity, there wasn't no cohesiveness. It was like a war zone.
Shit.
So that's the difference. So yeah. And the cold part about it, being a black man, I had more issues with my brothers than I had with any other race in there.
Wow, man.
So, yeah. So, but yeah, that's the cold part about it.
What was it considered? Was it considered like federal, or what was it considered?
It was federal.
Federal?
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah. But that's when I always used to call a town hall meeting when I took over my unit, because I want everybody to understand where I'm coming from. I'm not here to make your life hard while you up in here, and make my life hard, because we both got to be here. Yeah. So hey, let's try to work together the best we can. You stay in your lane, and once you swerve into another lane, I'm gonna let you know, get back in your lane. Because So yeah, that worked out, man. But yeah, I think the cohesiveness was a big difference, and that was my gig, man. I did that for 23 after that.
What's crazy about it, and the idea of corrections is back then they had like a lot of overtime back then, didn't they? Yeah. Because I know like the state changed something with the overtime after I don't know how long, but you were there a lot, right?
Well, so, you got that was state. I know state. I was at a private.
Oh.
Yeah. So state, it was different as far as their overtime. They had a lot of overtime there. And a lot of people their whole life was spent there. Making all that money. You get that overtime check, and people start getting used to that overtime check. And start living above your beat.
And they switched it up.
Yeah.
I think it was like 2007 or something like that, 2008.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my cousin's in corrections. He's been doing it probably a little over 20 years, like 21 years. And he's 43. So he's still pretty young. He actually got, he does like internal affairs now. Like he investigates COs.
Right, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Hey, you got to investigate the COs, man, because sometimes the COs doing more dirt than the inmates.
Yeah, it's crazy. He had just told me he had busted somebody. Yeah. They had a warrant. And they had a search warrant, busted in there, nobody was there.
Yeah.
But I was just like, damn, this shit is deep. Now, in regards to being in there, working a lot, did you ever feel institutionalized yourself?
Every time that door closed. Man. Yeah, Every time that thing closed, I told the cats, I was like, man, I get a 16-hour furlough every day. Then I get a 48-hour furlough every 5 days, so I get my days off. And I see you after, that 48. And I'm back there for got 8, So yeah, it's just, I figure if I worked there for 23 years, how much actual time was I actually incarcerated?
Man.
Yeah. I'm going to say at least half that.
Yeah.
Probably 15 years.
And the reason why I bring that up is because with you, especially working all that time and then also having a family, you have to also compartmentalize, or that shit's gonna spill over into your personal life. So you literally are trying to stop Billy Bob from raping the inmate, and then you come home and it's like a birthday party. It's like, fuck, it's the polar opposites going on.
Yeah. Family begging you to go take them to the park or something.
And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No.
Go figure it out.
No. I had to change my vocabulary because I was a no man.
Yeah.
Because can I get this at the prison? No. You're not, kids come home. Daddy, can we do this? No. My wife had to say, hey, you can't be saying no and not doing what you need to do here every time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
You got to detach, man. You got that 30-minute drive to figure,
Yeah.
get your mind right, but sometimes it don't always work that way.
I think that you just mentioned that drive from the facility to home. That's the part where it's just like you having to almost code switch almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause you're literally surrounded by people who are highly manipulative, and they went their whole lives fucking up, and now you almost like a high level babysitter. You got to stop these motherfuckers from doing shit all the time, and then not only that, because my cousin was telling me that a lot of these dudes are also really intelligent, because all they got to do with it being locked up is study the law.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, oh, I want to file a grievance because of this or that, and it's like, bro, shut up.
Hey, those guys that's been incarcerated, like you said, that's their life. They know more about you. They know more about the prison. They make it a point, to know, because that's how they survive. And like you said, a lot of them are very intelligent. I've never met a dumb inmate.
Wow.
I'm gonna say that right now. I've never met a dumb inmate. So you'll met some mental challenges. But you can never underestimate them, because especially when you work in that realm, that's their world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you just gotta understand how the dynamics of the institution is. Yeah, and navigate your way. And again, it's always a respect factor. I don't care if they, what they did or who they are. You still gotta show some respect, because at the end of the day, when you work in an institution, it's 200 to 1. So yeah, you gotta hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what's crazy too is they're probably really good at almost evaluating your temperament, and if you're full of shit, or if you're really thorough.
Hell yeah.
They'll be like, okay, that new guy, he acting tough, but that dude's a coward.
Yeah.
We gonna break that dude.
Yeah. I always tell the dudes, just be who you are. Because the inmate gonna know that you're not who you are by coming in and perpetrating the front, trying to be all hard and stuff. If you be the person you are, and don't deviate that and apply, the rules of the institution.
Yeah,
you'd be all right. But you go in there try to be lord over people and Joe Navy or whatever you want to be, you're gonna have problems, man.
Yeah, because the difference is you had a military background, so you have to have a high level of integrity over 8-9 years. Yeah. But it's a motherfucker that just came from Wiener Schnitzel.
Yeah.
And then you go from dealing with weenies and now you dealing with inmates. That shit ain't gonna
fly.
No. They can smell the chili on your ass still.
Ain't gonna fly, man. You can't go in there talking sideways. Man, one lieutenant told me, and I took that, to heart. He go, hey, man, don't ever come up in the institution trying to lord over these inmates. Because, like I said, it's 200 to 1. They let you run the spot.
Oh my God!
They let you run the spot. They won't structure and order, just like we all do.
It's program.
Yeah, program. You can't program. They gonna deal with you, or when you done got dealt with because you failed the program. You lock in the sock, get dealt with. So it's a lot of stuff, but you can get dealt. But yeah, like I said, you have to have respect no matter what. No matter what, you have to. Yeah. And I think as a whole, they understand that, they want you to do what you're supposed to do, and, and that's it,
Dang.
Yeah.
That's real. So how many times a week did you do burpees with the inmates?
I ain't gonna lie, I did get my routine from 'em. I was out there getting my eye hustle on. These cats, they had it locked down. I'm talking about they doing like 20 sets of 10, or, you see how they rocks and stuff on the ground. Like, he got like 80 rocks. He probably done did 80 sets of 10,
Oh,
Like
my
counting
God.
them like
Yeah,
that.
with the rocks and stuff, man. They're getting it.
I've heard people doing like they would have like the playing cards,
Yeah.
and then they would use that to count or use that as numbers to do like certain push-ups.
See, that's a dangerous motherfucker, man. Somebody doing 80 sets.
But it's mandatory, though. You got to get out there and get yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be a weak link, man. What if something go down?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you went out there getting your burpees in, you gonna get dealt. You gonna get talked to.
Yeah.
You already know, you know the game, man.
Yeah.
And if your shit ain't looking right, you can't be looking all busted, you know.
Damn.
Yeah, man.
Sheesh.
So do you have you ever made a spread, or what's your spread game like?
Give me some napkins and use that microwave, man. I don't, yeah.
Hey, so Anthony, how many boiled eggs and hot dogs did you chop up?
For my ramen, my Jack Mac, man.
Oh, it was a rapper that was doing a podcast, and he was talking about when he got out of jail, some of the jail food he still liked. So he had this thing where it was like Doritos and some boiled eggs. He was shaking in the bag, and somebody told him, "You need to stop eating that. You're gonna end up back in there."
For sure. Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
man.
first. I had a cousin. He just got fresh out of jail, and he came to live with us. And at the time, I was young. I didn't know spreads came from like institutionalized stuff. But
You talking about
out.
Pain?
Yeah, he came out. Put the top ramen. He put some chili beans in there with some Fritos, some cheese. It was low key good. I ain't gonna front, but I was.
That's
like,
wild.
crazy.
What's wild to me is how these inmates, they will eat fucked up honey buns, chili, hot dogs, but they work out so much they come out looking like a machine.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And we out here free, and we work out and shit. But it'll be a dude that all he did was work out all day.
And it's all they do is a lot of places don't have weights. So they doing like
Calories,
calisthenic. Yeah,
water
man.
bags.
They looking cool, man. Yeah,
crazy.
water bags. I done
That's
seen many
crazy.
water bags. I never busted. I'm like, go get your workout on, man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
But if you showed out, you being disrespectful, I'm gonna get you for your water bag because you already know you come and being disrespectful. I'm gonna have to take something from you.
Some of the shit they did too is some of the stuff they did because I've seen like some stuff over the years. I did a little research. Some bodybuilders adopted some things from prisons.
Yeah.
Like when it came to doing triceps with the towel, they was like, some bodybuilders had the thing where they grab the towel, one dude from behind, the other dude pulling back. Or same thing with chest, they using towels.
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
seen people do the biceps with
the bicep with the towel.
Yeah.
It's like, man, when a grown man is doing shit like that, I'm not saying I'll be afraid of him, but I don't want to fuck with him. Like, bro, you eat noodles. I know you mad because I'm eating chicken breasts and shit. You eat noodles and you eat boiled eggs.
Yeah.
I'm not about to get in a fight with a man that ate 20 honey buns, bro. I ain't about to do
He's
that.
gonna get dealt with.
Yeah, this nigga already got diabetes. Now you trying to fight? That's a trip, man.
That's how they roll it. And like, cutting up summer sausage. I'm seeing these guys sauteing onions, tomatoes, cutting up summer sausage, and just to putting the Jack Mac and the noodles, man.
Wow.
Yeah, they made their own little garlic sauce, man. With shit, I took a couple recipes home and made my own. Serious, man. The microwave game wasn't no joke.
Wow.
Yeah, your microwave game in the pen, you got it right, man.
Get creative, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
shoot.
man.
Had some shit, especially on movie night. I'm like, this got a spread.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy, man. And what's crazy too is you made it throughout all that, seeing all the the madness and the noodles and chopped summer sausages and whatnot. I think it's a good thing to be on the back side of it now and look at it and be like, at least you stay true enough to yourself to where it's like, man, I'm done. It's behind me, and I could just do my thing.
That's the crazy when you think about like, I don't know, even like growing up in the hood, like when you in it, you might not like the circumstances, or it may not be funny to you at the time. But when you move out, you get your own apartment, you get a decent job, then you just couldn't reflect on it and laugh.
Yeah.
While you in it, you just like, man, this is just terrible, man. But yeah, that's the good thing about just, maturation and growing up.
Yeah, my uncle did like 12, 13 years. And some of the shit, he was doing federal time. But some of the shit he was telling me is like he didn't have like he wasn't around a bunch of like killers. He was around a bunch of like, because he went to a couple of prisons, I think. But a lot of them did like a lot of white collar crimes.
Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, I know. I worked at the camp. It was a lot of white collar criminals there, but at the main side it was low. But you had cats coming down from high. They reduced their points, so they was able to go to a lower level facility. And we had a lot of immigration issues there.
Really?
So yeah, but yeah, man, cats have their own little rap sheet, and yeah, it was some hardcore cats in there, man.
I bet.
Some hardcore cats in that little level facility, man.
There's some motherfuckers that's too connected in there too. Yeah. So if you like a CO, you kind of want to stay away from them. Yeah. They'll be like, hey, your name is Albert, right? Oh, 1745 Canal Street. Your grandma's over there. You be like, oh yeah, man.
That's why you can't go. That's why you don't try to lord over nobody in there.
Nah,
because like I said, they want you to do your job.
Yeah,
they want you to do your job. And if you ain't doing your job, they gonna take advantage of you, and you gonna start working for them.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Have you ever been around, and I'm not trying to get you to dry snitch, but have you ever seen a situation where another corrections officer was almost like not extorted, but they leveraged himself against him, where like he was fucking up?
Yeah, man. And he got in trouble for that shit too. Yeah, it's a cold piece the way they set him up though. Set dude up, man, with some tickets to the Laker game and shit.
Ooh. Inmates,
yeah.
How the fuck they get Laker tickets?
Hey, they didn't have it. That's the whole. They set him up. They conned him, think that he had Laker tickets. They want him to do a certain thing. Say, hey, if you do this for us, we're gonna make sure you get Laker tickets and shit.
Oh my God.
For some Laker tickets.
It was one cat up in there, man, who took $10,000 from it and made him bought a truck and drove the motherfucker to work.
Nah.
Oh my
yeah, so they
God.
Hey, when
it's so much fucking money in there. That's wild.
In like 6 months, I'm gonna be ready to write a movie about like the correctional facility.
Yeah, I'm serious, man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
When I was working at, they was coming out with all kinds. It was a lot of stuff. Girls getting twisted up.
I know. There's a lot of stories of that.
Hey, but that's the name. That's the nature of the beast, though. Because these guys, like I said, these guys ain't no dummy. They know how to. They know how to manipulate people. They know.
Like breaking a horse. Huh?
Yeah. They know that some officers want to be liked.
Oh, man.
If you really want to be, and you're low self esteem, if I would have still had that Bruce Lee, my pajamas that my grandma made, my karate thing, if I still had issues with that,
Yeah.
But yeah.
You definitely don't want to wear that shit to work.
No, but I'm just saying, if I would have been, my mindset would have been, if somebody's
100%.
saying about me,
right.
I would wear the karate suit now. Right. But because I'm mature and I'm able to handle nonsense or negativity
100%.
from people, so yeah. And you got other officers that still have that mentality. I want to be like if they don't like me, so they try to do what they could for the collectively for the institution of inmates to like them.
Yeah,
and they would do anything, and they would either distort the whole book about their job, and
100%. What's crazy too about some of these inmates is how much game they got. They be messing with female CEOs and like girls on the outside. They be putting money on their books. It's like, what are they saying?
Casanova.
I'm
gonna give you the world. Like, nigga, you got noodles.
In prison.
Yeah, be like Josie, don't talk. Just listen.
It's crazy. I remember my cousin. My brother had hooked my cousin up with when we lived in Nevada, like some female out there, and they was like really like in a real relationship.
Yeah.
She's sending him pictures of her titties and all
Oh
kind
my
of stuff.
God, that's crazy.
It's kind of like you kind of like you were alluding to, like picking on the weak in a sense. Like it's a lot of women out here that may think that they can't find a man on the outside or
Oh my God.
whatever, but it's somebody on the inside that got all the game, or they could hit the right, hit the right points.
There's psychology behind that.
Hey, I've seen some women out there, married, good jobs, good money, family. Dude coming to spit game. Shit. You seen her getting walked off. What happened to her? Damn.
Yeah.
I tried to get with her. He done did what?
Oh, no.
Yeah. So it's crazy, man. They got that time. That just it's strange dynamics, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy, man.
I had one of my friends. He's a immigration lawyer, and he was telling me about like the way that it normally goes. He said basically it kind of goes a few different ways. Like say you it's kind of like once you here and you live in life, everything is good. Like ain't nobody gonna come knock on your door, at least in California. Ain't nobody gonna come knock on your door and just take you away. But if it's like you try to get across the border and you get caught, you kind of in the system already. So if you happen to get released or you waiting for your day in court and you just driving around and you get pulled over for any capacity, they just gonna throw you in.
Whoa.
They just gonna throw you in the jail. Yeah.
Damn.
So I imagine all those. It's so many different scenarios how people, illegal immigrants, I guess, can get thrown in that system and they just be in there.
Yeah, we had guys from Russia.
What?
Yeah, we had some guys from Russia, Iran.
How the fuck they make it down here?
Because they were I can't remember how it happened, but they weren't citizens, but they have committed crimes.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we had a lot of
Y'all have fucking spies in there or something.
you don't know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Man.
Because you can live, like if you just came here, you from any, like obviously Mexico is so close. That's why we normally think about that.
A lot of mules from there.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you came from like Nigeria or something, and you came here and then you just living here, living your life, you ain't even got no paperwork or nothing. The only way you gonna get caught is if you do something illegal.
Yeah. They deport you back. So we had people from Nigeria.
What?
Yeah, a lot of What I'm saying, cats from Colombia.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're right. That's how it
Nigeria's
was.
like, I committed a crime.
It was this cat. He was from Nigeria, and his family were really wealthy. They disowned him.
Oh.
Yeah, because he disgraced the family by going to jail.
Wow.
Yeah, Nigerian cat. Yeah. Prince Abubu or something. I don't know.
Yeah, be some real that was a couple, like when I was in school, there's a couple people. They was like princes of different towns and countries in Africa and stuff.
Oh my God.
Be some real. Yeah.
But it's a strange, the dynamics of a prison, man. I tell everybody, ain't no place to be, ain't no place to work either. But damn it, man. It's a cold. Once you like you said, I remember driving out there, man, every day, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, shit, I got 15 more years of this, man.
It's dark.
Man.
It's dark, man. I'm like, and
that got to be crazy to look at something
Hell
and think like,
I got 15 more years of this, man.
Damn.
But what do you think the inmate's thinking?
I got 15 more years of that motherfucker. Right
Yeah. I got to keep watching Anthony coming here with these cowboy hats for 15 fucking years.
And I learned how to navigate it because of what they say. Hey, man, you just gotta do your bit, man.
Oh, that's what they told you?
You got to program. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if you don't program, you wilding out. You all over the place.
Yeah.
And when I first started, I tried to, go in there and be like, yeah, let's do this and that. You can't go in there. You got to find a happy medium. Be true to who you are. Find your happy medium and program and develop a rapport with as many of those cats in there as you can. You have to, because you in there with them.
Yeah.
So you have to develop a rapport. They got to know who you are, where you coming from, what you stand for, and you got to do the same as far as many of them as you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you get to that point, if you get to that point.
Yeah. There was a story of an inmate, and he mentioned his sentence was so long that when he first went in there, he had a conversation with a CO. And CO was like, I just had my son. He's like, congratulations. And before he was released, the CO's son was working at the fucking prison. That's how long he was locked up. Yeah. So you like, yeah. So that's perspective. You said you was going up there like, I got 15 more years. Imagine having a son and an inmate telling you congratulations, and then your fucking son start working for he get out.
Man. That's a lifetime, ain't it?
You know how many noodles that motherfucker ate?
Yeah. some salty cut up.
That shit. Yeah, man.
Yeah. I wanted to know, like, for you, you know, obviously being in the military, you kind of develop a certain type of relationship with America. So I wanted to know, is there any, like, do you have any, like, conflicting ideas or feelings towards, like, you know, we have this flag that represents our country, and you serve this country, but also, like, you know, sometimes we get a slap in the face, you know, just for the color of our skin.
Yeah.
So is there any side of, like, conflicting, you know, views or feelings you have towards, you know, that symbol?
Sometimes I feel like a stranger in my own country. That's sad. You feel like a stranger in your own country because you don't feel like you accepted. You know, but yeah, like we talked about earlier, if any person who served in the military, which is a small percentage of the population, I think 10% of the population has ever served in the military, and once you know, you're talking about World War II when that war was finished and all the GIs came back with, you know, benefits and, you know, getting jobs and stuff like that. These textile companies, these motor companies, and living in the suburbs. But blacks were relegated back to the ghetto.
Yeah.
They didn't get none of the benefits.
Nope.
They couldn't get their GI Bill.
Nope.
They didn't get none of those benefits. But they served as hard and as valiantly as their white counterparts.
And they fought in segregated companies.
Yeah. So we didn't get those benefits. So yeah, I look at that like now, and